character didn't want to turn around. Fun. We're pretty much at the bottom. Oh, never mind. We're not. Oh. Tim is back alive. Yeah, he just spawned on me. And started attacking me.
Alright, we're just gonna listen to the really annoying sounds of this slime bobbling around instead of landing on the platform I built for it.
Yep, this is hell alright. I'm already almost dead.
Nice. I made a thorium anvil, by the way. Because it was literally just grab some thorium ore and then mix it with a
Okay. And
regular
what
anvil.
can we do with that?
What?
And what can we do with that?
It's just a thing that you need to make anything out of thorium.
Oh, okay.
Fancy new ore. Really? Again?
Isn't it every time someone gets above 200 HP?
I believe it's anytime anyone is above 200 HP. Not every time, but it can happen anytime. Any night someone is over 200 HP. Which, speaking of, who's over 200 HP? I'm at 200.
Yeah. I'm at 200 as well.
Ah, so it's all three of us.
Wait, what the fuck? How am I invisible? My character is invisible.
Magic.
Yeah, it's actually pretty annoying. Because I can't figure out.
Problem is,
where
I don't have a way to teleport back up there. I have to take the, oh, there we go. Alright, you guys are on your own. I'm working on it. See, what we need is a way to make all of the NPCs into an army. Now. Does it do anything different between magic and melee damage, in terms of how much the boss takes?
I see.
I'm gonna die soon. Yep, there we go. Lot too strong. You know, for the tank... Ow.
What the fuck?
It does that.
no! No!
Yes.
We got a lot closer that time.
Yeah, we did. You could somehow capture creatures as well, couldn't you?
Hostile creatures, like hostile monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a thing called a taming net, and you have to take the enemy down to 10% HP, and then catch them like you would catch anything else. But when you summon them, they take one of your minion slots, so they work the same as a minion does.
Oh, okay. And where do you see how many minion slots you have? Oh, here. 1 max minions. Okay. So our inventory is almost full.
Yeah, and I'm about to make it a little more full.
We should probably expand it.
Yeah.
What are these? What are these called?
These are
containers?
called storage cells, I believe. Double check it.
And maybe we should put it into a little bit of more dedicated area.
Yeah, we gotta build something more.
Yeah.
More substantial.
And like make a crafting station that you can just have the inventory open and then have access to most of the crafting stations.
I don't know if that works.
I mean, if it works like any other inventory, then it should, right?
Yeah, but Sloth was saying it doesn't play well with all the modded crafting stations.
Oh, okay.
Although I believe we can do remote accesses, so that shouldn't be a problem to try it at least.
Okay. Well, then we gotta probably decide how we want to make our house, because I feel like getting a little bit more of a permanent setup would be a good idea. Especially since we've pretty much dug all the way down to hell now.
Yeah.
We've gathered a lot of resources.
Sloth, to answer your question, yes, the next upgrade or the next tier is either Crimtane or Demonite. And I'm thinking we could certainly do that, Angry, if you wanted to build. Sloth, would you say that that's really progression, or is that more like busy work type stuff? What's your stance on it? Building a new house. Like the actual house itself, not filling it with new things, but just restructuring. I would prefer to try and progress when we have at least half the people here. And of course, 3 is not at least half of 9.
That is true. Yeah, it's just making the house a little bit more permanent so you can easily expand, and making it so that we have like a place where we can endlessly put more storage containers that are not in the way like they are kind of now.
Well, I think
Although
if we
you can
do...
jump on them.
The storage is upgrade. And they upgrade to the point where it's like 640 a chest or something? 640 a thing? But of course, that's endgame.
What is the green one, by the way? Because you have a yellow one and you have a green one.
The green one is the core. That's what makes it all work.
Okay. Yeah, storage should be downstairs. Sure. But I mean, what you can do is like, because the yellow one just hang on. I need to draw this. Second.
Is this where we want to build our house? Like our permanent residence, or do we want to move somewhere else?
No idea.
Move somewhere else? Where should we move to? Not the desert, I assume, because nobody wants to move to a desert. Bit to the left between the hills. Like, just to the right of the tall tree. Oh wait, right between the hills. That makes a lot more sense actually, since we are already between the hill to the left and the other hill. That could do. Would give us a nice amount of space because we could go into both of the hills for extra space if we need it. To get it allowed to be cool and stuff. Alright, let's do that. Angry, you want to go do that with me?
Hang on.
Or do you want to just do that and I'll come look later? Or how do you want to do it?
Hang on. I wasn't listening, so what do you want to do?
Hit escape,
I
and then go to your trifold map. So you can see the overworld, right?
Wait, but I'm confused. I didn't listen to what you were saying before because I was doing something. So I don't know.
We were trying to figure out if we wanted to rebuild here or rebuild elsewhere.
Oh, yeah, I feel like well, I mean, we did dig all the way down to hell right here.
Yeah, but it's a cakewalk to dig another hole.
Okay, so that doesn't matter.
No,
I mean, we could relocate. We could look for a prettier location somewhere.
Loth was recommending, like, just over to the right where we are. There's two hills.
Between the two hills?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
And I actually like that idea.
Yeah, we could do that.
That puts us
We
still
could make
pretty centrally located.
We could make like a floating island in between those hills to build our base up on.
Could, but we're probably not going to want to do that because if you build a floating island, you kind of limit yourself on space.
That's true. What kind of building are we going to make?
That I don't have any idea.
What are our common blocks? Do we have a lot of marble? Not yet, but we have access to a lot of marble.
Yep, and we have access to the desert, so we can go get glass for sand.
Sand for glass.
I don't need a yo-yo. I have a couple of them though.
A yo-yo? Maybe. It's a fireball. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Average speed. That's not average, that's pretty fast.
Taking a break, slow. You go do your thing. Angry, I ran away to go to the desert, to go acquire a bunch of sand.
Okay.
At 328 sand, that should be plenty.
So can't you do something like...
What?
Oh, never mind. So can you do something like that, where red is like the crafting, and then the yellow is the access to the inventory, green is the core, and then the gray things are all the extra storage, and then you can just expand it endlessly.
Theoretically, yes.
Because that seems really useful to me. Being able to instantly access crafting stations and shit.
Except if you open up your recipe explorer.
Oh, okay.
Which I could do if I hit the right key. You'll see how, or go to items.
Okay.
And then up on the top right hand corner of that, there's a little button that says mod. You hover over mod, you can filter by mod.
Yep.
Click through it a couple times to get to mod filter magic storage.
Yep.
So there's a crafting interface.
Storage crafting interface, I see.
And then
It's really easy to make too.
yeah, it's all pretty straightforward. But there's also remote storage access.
Oh, okay.
So we don't actually have to have it all connected like that. I just was putting together the most basic system that I could. Because we were less than an hour into the game and we had chests everywhere.
I've noticed as well, like some of the storages have like a red thing, and then some of them have a yellow thing. Is
So
that when they're full? They become
red means that they have filled every slot that they have. Yellow means they have filled some of the slots, and green means they have nothing in them.
Okay.
And apparently it does work like a fluid, so to speak, which means that if you place a empty one like closer to the core than a full one, it will move into the empty one. Basically, like everything moves closer to the core. Which is kind of annoying for moving things, but other than that, it's fine.
Okay. That's pretty useful.
We are obviously pushing the end of our space here in this particular thing.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't mind building a new house. I just don't know. I don't know where to start because I don't know what we'll need.
Right, I'm sort of in the same boat. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
Well, we know we're gonna need storage. I'm thinking if we have a 10 by 10 array of these storage things, you're talking about 100 of them at 40 items apiece, meaning you have 4,000 tiles that you can fill.
Yeah, that should be enough, right?
Well, and every tile can stack to 9,999.
Yeah, so that should definitely be enough.
Yeah, we'll only fill up on like equipable items that have unique modifiers on them and stuff. And a lot of those we'll be able to combine down as soon as we get the Goblin Tinkerer here. But getting the Tinkerer is a progressionary thing, and I don't want to do that without people. Which means, let's go look over at the thing. Grab... Oh, that should be fine.
Oh, this goes past the hills.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could definitely build here.
So I'm thinking